as a fan, nor has it been enjoyable to endure as a player. The Pirates have been outscored 14-3 by the Cubs through the first 2 games of this series. But baseball's grinding, nearly daily schedule also provides an opportunity for the Bucs to hang a loss on the first-place Cubs this afternoon at PNC Park. It's the Pirates, the Cubs, and it begins right now on Root Sports.
It's a great day for baseball in Pittsburgh, and today Juan Nicasio looking to try to be great, and they'll need a stopper today as the Pirates play host to the Chicago Cubs. And welcome into the booth, Joe Block along with Bob Walk here with you today. And the Pirates, they've lost 3 games in a row, but they're 3 games ahead of pace where they were last season.
Yeah, really, I think everybody feels kind of poorly right now because we've lost a couple games in a row to the Cubs. But if you want to look at the big picture, it's not so bad. Look where we were last year, below 500 record. The offense wasn't doing much at all. McCutchen was mired in one of the worst slumps that he had ever had. And it all turned out for the good. And I think right now, if you want to look at the long term, we'll get that starting pitching tweaked a little bit. Everything's going to be just fine.
Kind of the opposite. Yeah, the hitting's good. The pitching has not been as good so far. And they're going to run into another good starting pitcher today with John Lester. But no left-hander has allowed more stolen bases than he did last year in half a century. So maybe the running game is something today we'll look at.
Well, perhaps. We still have to figure out a way to get on first. I think they need to stay with their normal approach and be patient. Make sure that Lester's throwing the ball over the plate, giving them something to hit before they swing the bat. And then Nicasio, obviously, he has had some real strong games this year. If he has one of those type ball games like he had against the Reds where he goes out and dominates, then I think that's going to be all we really need to come away with a W.
Juan Nicasio has won all 3 of his starts here at PNC Park as a Pirate. And the Pirates look to get 1 game here in this series. It's the Pirates and the Cubs' final game of this homestand, and it's coming up right here on Root Sports.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
And the Kids Day here at PNC Park. A lot of kids coming in. All the school buses on our way in today. Lots of great groups here enjoying Wednesday matinee baseball. Pirates and the Cubs here in the final game. How about that? You know, coming in on a school bus.
Well, hopefully they'll have a little more fun out on the field today. They'll play like kids. You know, not be uptight at all. Just go out and have some fun. And as you mentioned earlier, Lester, he always has trouble with the running game. So if you're going to play like a kid, well, then kids run the bases, huh? Get out there and do some good work. Try and take that extra 90 feet if you get to first.
We'll see if the Pirates are able to get those base runners on today. I mean, the Cubs pitching has been stalwart. They're best in baseball in both scoring runs and preventing runs so far, and have the best record. So
absolutely,
it's going to be a challenge.
And but at the same time, you got to forget about what happened the last 2 days. You got to have that smile on your face. You see it in that dugout right now. They're ready. They're going to go out, and going to play some baseball and do some dancing apparently. But that's the thing about baseball. There is a new game every single day, and you got to let the disappointment of the night before just roll off your back. And here you get a day game, so you get to get at it early. That's even better.
John Lester getting the nod for the Cubs today. The Pirates have been good against lefties. Lester, of course, no ordinary left-handed pitcher. But it does rely on pitching, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be the story, really, when we get to the end of the afternoon, is which team got the best pitching this afternoon. And that's the way it is always in baseball. Every now and then you'll have those 12 to 8 games or 12 to 10. I think we had one of those down in Arizona, but most of the time the winning team had the best pitching.
And Sean Rodriguez trying to keep that hot stick in the lineup. Moving over at first base today. And let's look at our Honda lineup for the visitors. The Cubs. Dexter Fowler leads all the baseball in on-base percentage. Tommy La Stella. Chris Bryant with a 9-game hitting streak. Rizzo with a 7-game streak. Ben Zobrist moves over to right field today. Javier Baez. Great defense at third yesterday. Russell, Ross, and Lester. You always see Ross and Lester together.
Take a look at Nicasio's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai, and the numbers I think show that he has done all in all a pretty good job. You got the ERA down in the lower 3s. There's nothing to worry about there. The opponent batting average below 200. That is outstanding. The one thing, the control has been a little inconsistent, and that's where Nicasio needs to make the adjustments. And if the control is consistent, then everything else is going to fall in place for him. He definitely has shown us at times he can be dominating. He can go out there and really take over a game.
He did that on Friday against the Reds. 7 scoreless, 3 hits, a walk. And the defense that we'll see behind him. Josh Harrison back in the lineup after getting the day yesterday. Marte, McCutcheon, Polanco in the outfield. And David Freese played a little second base last night. He's back at third. And Cervelli for the day game, doing the catching today. Happy birthday. You have a birthday party, and you can have a Marte party too. And wow, look at that. He just threw him the ball. Well, that is about as great as a birthday gift as you're ever going to get. Look at that.
That started the party right there. New baseball.
Be a baseball fan for life. Ready to get started. Dexter Fowler is in. Juan Nicasio delivers a first pitch strike. Fowler at 352. And been on base 5 times already in this series. tight. 2 balls and a strike. You know, in Nicasio's last start, I think one of the keys to success too was the rhythm that he had. He pitched very quickly. He just got the ball returned and threw it. 2-1. And it's outside 3-1. And you made a great point, Bob, about is it the chicken or the egg?
Right.
Is what you said. If you're pitching well early, do you?
It's easy to have that good rhythm and the good pace when everything's falling in place. Now, can you keep that going when you walk a couple of guys, or you give up 3 hits in a row? Are you going to, like, now start slowing it down, walking all over the place, and having that that problem keeping up that pace and the rhythm? It's kind of like that good clubhouse chemistry.
3-2 and a little flare for a base hit for Fowler.
People always ask about that. Is it a winning team that creates the chemistry, or does the chemistry help create the winning team? I don't know. It's a tough one to answer.
It comes with the leadoff man aboard again, something that has been a theme in this series. They did it in each of the first 4 innings last night. Both games in the series, the Cubs have had the leadoff man on in each of the first 4 innings of the game. That's hard to work around that all the time. Tommy LaStella. And they're at second base today. No Jason Hayward. He's had a banged up wrist, and so he's not played in this series. Cubs, like the Pirates, have a lot of versatility defensively, so they shift the field all around. Hayward, probably not going to see him today either.
He's off to a slow start with the bat, and at the same time nursing a bad wrist, so gets the series off.
Madden. Cubs showed up a couple of days ago with some real bright traveling suits, theme suits. Always trying to keep things loose. And Nicasio's pace, 1 batter in, has changed dramatically with the runner.
Well, this is the dugout is doing this. That's not Nicasio.
Try to hold the runner.
Something I always just try to explain to people when they would ask me, why are you working so slow? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Well, it's the dugout. Once you get to a stretch, they take over the pace.
1-1.
And what I mean by it is you'll watch Cervelli, for instance. He'll look into the dugout as soon as he gets down in his crouch, and he'll wait for signs so that he can tell the pitcher what to do. So a lot of times as a pitcher, you're standing out there, you want to work fast, but you're looking in instead of getting a sign. The catcher's looking in the dugout, and that just kind of slows things down. And especially if you get the sign that says hold the ball and then step off, then you have to do what Nicasio did last time. You got to stand there and hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, and then somebody will call timeout, and then an announcer goes, why isn't he pitching? I have to live through that.
Brad Fisher.
That's Brad Fisher. He's given the signs to Cervelli. He gave him that pickoff throw to first base.
1-2.
All that stuff started coming from the dugout in, like, I'd say mid to late 80s is when, at least with the Pirates, that started to happen. But back before that time, the catcher and the pitcher together just kind of took care of some things on themselves. They decided, when to have a pickoff throw and that sort of thing.
And Fowler, a threat to run, 5 steals, stolen twice in this series, so paying a lot of mind to him.
There are some pitchers that will still throw over on their own, and there are some pitchers that will never throw to first base unless they get a sign to do so.
Even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's why it's even more important than ever for those runners at first base to try and get out there a little ways and peek in to see if they can see a sign. It's not always necessarily looking for a breaking ball. They might be looking to see if you're getting a throw to first or a pitch out. Looking for that also.
Fowler with not a huge lead over there, but 2-2 fouled off. And Nicasio worked with a runner on almost half the time in his last start, even though he only allowed four base runners. Many of them came as leadoff men or early in innings. So certainly nothing has changed here with the leadoff man here. But it seemed even in that game he was working very quickly, even with men on.
It depends on who's on. If it's a base stealer, that's going to slow things down because the dugout's going to slow things down.
Another 2-2. Strike 3 called.
Well, I caught a little bit of a call here. The ball might have been a little inside, but close enough to get the benefit of the doubt.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, working the plate today. There's Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant has played exclusively in the outfield in this series.
Right field yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep, right. Yesterday, left and flanking those that appearance.
More of that versatility.
Average at 305. Like the Pirates, the Cubs drawing a lot of walks too. The Cubs are the one team that have drawn more. So Bryant's on base near 400. Pirates lead the league in on base percentage. It's inside 3-0.
A lot of movement on that one. The ball kind of took off on him. Jumped inside. I saw a quote from Arrieta today that maybe he was a little wild the first couple hitters. And he mentioned that his ball seemed to really be moving a lot, and he had to kind of change his point of aim a little to take that into account. And that's what happened right there in Nicasio. That ball really ran inside on him. He would have had to start that right down the middle to get it to stop on the inside corner.
Strike over. So kind of like a golf game. You know, if you got to slice,
if you're going to slice and
yeah,
you don't want to change it, you got to play it. You got to aim left. It's exactly the same way.
Fowler aboard with that leadoff single. He hasn't tried to go yet. He might on the next pitch though. 3-2.
Foul tip. Hung on to.
That's the only infielder on the right side. Rodriguez holding the runner. Fowler staying put. He'll move up anyway on the walk. Comes with 2 aboard here in the first. Anthony Rizzo coming up. Another thing about, we talked about pace, but also pitch efficiency, which was Nicasio's strength in his last outing.
And hasn't always been. I mean, that's been a problem in a couple starts. Particularly that one in Detroit.
And even in a regular start for Nicasio, 2 starts ago against Arizona, 101 in 5 innings. Still only gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. There's a strike, but he walked 4, and that's kind of what has plagued Nicasio is the walks. But in his last start, very sharp. Did not throw more than 16 pitches in an inning. Already 20 here. So.
And a lot of times too, guys with power arms and the hard slider. That's how Nicasio is. He's always been more of a strikeout guy. It's hard for them to get it in their heads. They got to pitch to contact and be efficient. They're not wired like that. They're going for the strikeout. The strikeouts cost you pitches.
You see, 3 runs or fewer in all the starts, but how deep can he go? It depends on the walks usually. And the strikeouts to some degree. If he's striking out a lot of guys, generally speaking, if it's not on 3 pitches, and kind of prolongs at bats.
One of the things that Francisco's had such a hard time with over the years, ending up with a lot of innings pitched at the end, because he just strikes out a ton of guys and ends up throwing a lot of pitches, and he's always losing that 1 extra inning every game. Gets to that 100 mark a little quicker than somebody that's pitching to contact will, if it's successful contact. Sometimes pitching to contact doesn't mean you're going to be around a long time.
Yeah, you got to get a lot of outs too.
That contact better be soft contact.
Liriano was one of the best, or the best actually, last year in the National League at getting soft contact. So, and you bring that up. I was just reading something from Mark Simon from ESPN today about the Pirates have had the best hard contact hitters in baseball this year. So, what does that mean? Generally speaking,
exit velocity, I guess.
Yeah, well, generally meaning if you're hitting the ball hard, it's going to be harder to get you out.
Yeah,
even if it's on the ground.
Over the course, long term, you're going to get more hits. Now, in any particular game, maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that, but long term, the harder you hit the ball, the more are going to find the grass out there somewhere.
1-2. So only 13 strikes for Nicasio so far. Cubs leading baseball in runs per game. They've scored 7 in each of the first 2 games of the series. And he strikes out Rizzo.
Hard slider at the knees. Pitch number 6 of the at bat.
Two strikeouts for Nicasio after the leadoff single by Fowler. The walk to Bryant. Now Ben Zobrist.
That would have been some soft contact.
Yeah. That's a good equalizer from Nicasio, even when his command isn't the sharpest. He throws his off-speed stuff in the zone, especially that slider. Boy, he really gets a lot of swings and misses on it.
Zobrist was hunting fastball first pitch.
Right to Polanco. 27 pitches, but a 0 and 2 left for the Cubs. Cubs turned aside in the top of the first. Pirates coming to bat. Little hooky. H.W. Good is here today. Lots of kids here today. A lot of field trips this afternoon. And let's look at our Toyota RAV4 lineup. And Jordy Mercer, so good against left-handed pitching, leading things off. Great start to the year for him, too. McCutcheon at Freeze. Marte, Cervelli, Rodriguez and company against John Lester.
Lester, good strikeout guy. He's got almost as many strikeouts as innings pitched. Last year he had more strikeouts than innings pitched. So I think you know, the way the Pirates have gone about their hitting this year, trying to be patient and waiting until they see something they want to swing at, is the way they need to go after Lester today. Don't get caught chasing his pitches.
Jordy Mercer, great start to the year. 319, third best in the league among shortstops. That's pretty good from the guy who's normally hitting in the number 8 spot. But against lefty starters, he's been the leadoff man, and hey, why not? He's done well in that role, and he's done well against lefties. Very well. .400 on base percentage this year. That's what you like from a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, every time he's been put in that leadoff spot, he's performed well with that bat and done the job.
Different responsibilities, but you still need someone that can handle the bat well in the number 8 spot in the National League lineup too. Hit over Zobrist. Oh, time to hold it in.
Yeah, he didn't read that right. Immediately he thought that ball was not hit as well, and just about got over his head. Maybe some pretty good backspin on that ball, because it really did carry well. Not much wind out there, as you can see. The flags are hanging fairly limp, but that one definitely a little bit surprising in how far it carried.
Zobrist has played in the outfield quite a bit in his career, but only 5 innings this year. Now Andrew McCutcheon, also very good against lefties. I was looking at Mercer, who he took from when Mercer began his career in 12, and was a full-time player on. And he's 7th, and McCutcheon is 2nd in that span. So the last 5 years in baseball, 2nd against lefties. Mercer 7th.
Deserved a hit on that one.
And now ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. McCutcheon has 1 hit in the series. That is the home run on Monday. I put the Pirates ahead. It's the only time that they've led, though, in this series. Underneath this one.
And that one got in on him a little bit.
La Stella. And here's the defense today for Chicago. Javier Baez, he can work anywhere. He's got the baseball logo on his neck, and just below it too on his uniform. Yeah, Bryant in the outfield, Zobrist in the outfield today, normally both infielders. And outstanding glove behind Jake Arrieta yesterday. Baez, one of the more talented young players in baseball, and Arrieta twirling 7 scoreless yesterday.
Definitely showing he's all in on his sport.
Yeah.
Got the MLB logo tattooed to your neck.
Yeah, he's not going to be playing basketball anytime soon. Right?
I like it.
He's no Ron Reed, one of your old teammates.
Yeah.
Ball and a strike to David Freese.
Played for Detroit, didn't he?
Yeah, he was
Pistons.
a former Piston. And then, of course, pitched all. He probably pitched, what, about 20 years or so in the bigs, right?
Yeah, long time.
David Freese with a base hit. And now this is where it gets interesting. when there's a base runner on for Lester, who, you know, he didn't go 2 years, but he didn't throw over for 2 years. Yet he did an okay job at limiting the running game during that span. But last year it really started to kind of get away from him a little bit as teams became more aggressive. But with Boston, he was still able to limit the running game without even throwing to first base. How can a pitcher do that?
Be 1-1 home.
You mean 1.1 seconds,
yeah,
right? Very quick.
Rick Russell didn't throw over to first base hardly ever, but extremely difficult to run on. The key to preventing stolen bases is being quick home, and not getting into a 1001, 1002 go home. Varying your times where you're holding the ball. Sometimes go home quick, sometimes hold it for a while before you go home. But when you do go home, get the ball to catcher's glove.
What do they say? That we always see the stopwatch.
No, that's what the stopwatch is. That's what they're timing, the pitcher. They want to know how quickly he's getting the ball into the catcher's glove. If he's a 1-1, there's nobody going to steal anything. If he's a 1-4, you're off to the races.
So it's a simple math, pretty much, right? I mean,
well,
the base runner it determines.
There's a few other things that go into it, but yeah, that's the main thing. It's how quick is he?
That's another reason he hasn't had a lot of trouble. He gets a lot of outs. Through an inning, no score here from Pittsburgh. Best bands in the Berg. Hear local music featured throughout our entire Pirates broadcast during Friday Night Rocks. This Friday when the Bucks take on the Cardinals. Right here on Root Sports. On our UPMC scoreboard.
Just another baseball team, the pesky Cubs. They've been very pesky the last couple of days.
Love seeing all the kids here today.
I got it.
It's been great, pulling in, seeing all the school buses and thinking about, going on a field trip back when I was in grade school and get to come to the ballpark. It's like, wow, I was talking with my wife this morning, they go to Three Rivers and, get a chance to go to the game. And she said they got to run on the field after the game. I said, wow, what a cool experience. So think of all these kids today loving the Pirates, loving baseball. See, first Pirates game, skipping school, getting a chance to have some fun, maybe see a win today.
Play like a kid, and kids run the bases.
There's Montour's third grade class and Anna Stevens.
Got hats today.
That's how we know who they are. Boo Cubs. one kid. Javier Baez will start it off. Some of these guys weren't long ago sitting in the seats themselves like this. This very young Cubs squadron. Baez just 23. Russell on deck just 22. I guess Sean Rodriguez wanted to meet some of the kids. Hey guys, thanks for coming today. I gave him a ball too. John Jaso getting the day off against the lefty.
Very short wall or fence over there. The field actually is elevated, so anytime you hit it, it's going to get you just above the knee, and you're going in the stands. As where the fans are is lower, so that it's a nice height for them, that fence. But for a first baseman going over there, very careful. Got to be very careful.
Baez reaching out and getting a base hit.
Well, he sure looked good on defense yesterday, didn't he? He had a couple of fine throws.
Let's take a look at our Barrel League leaders and the Cubs. When leading off an inning, the best on base percentage in baseball. The Pirates overall have the best on base percentage. Pirates #2 in leading off the inning. And that changes the complexion of the inning. The Cubs, in innings 1 through 4 in this series, they're 10 for 10 with getting the leadoff man out to start off in the early portions of the ball game. Here's 22-year-old Addison Russell with Baez moving. He's out.
Great tag right there by Jay Hay. As this is developing, it looks like Baez might be going to get in there. But, ooh, nice throw right on target. Good quick tag.
Out Cervelli, who's now thrown out 38% of attempted base stealers. It's well above average.
That was right there, about a foot above the ground, right on target.
And now 2 strikes on Russell. Couple of home runs, hitting at .210. That'll help out Juan Nicasio, and that leadoff man getting on.
That's one of the things that the Cubs were able to do to us 2 nights ago. Running all over the place. Maybe Cervelli able to nip that in the bud.
I'm sure that's got to help out a lot. Again, the Cubs very early in all of these games, putting a lot of pressure. Two. Laid off the slider away. Game of this homestand. The Pirates trying to close it with a victory. They've been streaky lately. And full on Russell after being ahead 0-2. Payoff pitch. And he walked him. Second walk issued by Nicasio. And there's the Renegades of the Rotunda. Wait a second. Wait a minute. They are getting hyped. Oh wow. Who is in charge of the
that's I'm not
Turf Wars?
Sure who is in charge up there.
When you're a Jet all the way. This is kind of a West Side Story forming over there. Look how
there's a little space there, a little gap. Who's running things? Maybe running just means that they jog up there from the bottom.
They don't look very hyped yet.
Just getting in shape.
I think that's under false pretenses there. Yeah, they're well, the Renegades are taking over the hyped crew because they're not hyped enough, I guess. They seem to have more sorcery in their favor too, and general armament. I think I'll favor the Renegades so far.
I don't want to mess with them.
Nicasio was ahead 0-2 on Russell. Now up 2 strikes on Ross. There we go. Look, I got a ball here today.
Show it off, huh? Yeah, that's a good one. You're going to get one too. I know it. And we'll play catch when we get home. Right? Keep away from the dog.
I don't know if there's any kids that didn't get to come today, but if you did, the kids from just up the street here at King Elementary. My sister-in-law teaches over there. She's here today, Jennifer Blazak, and her class is here today.
I think times have changed. I don't ever remember going to Dodger Stadium on a field trip.
Probably because you wouldn't be able to get back in time to get back to school until the next day.
Wasn't that far?
You know how the traffic is in Los Angeles.
Well, not. I mean, 50 years ago, maybe not. Not that bad.
Has it been that long? I keep
forgetting.
forgetting.
It's been that long. Yeah, I'm an old man.
Yeah, well, I'm not far behind you then. I'm thinking, wait a minute, has it been that long since we were in elementary school?
Yeah, it's been a while.
But yeah, I mean, you go to the game, get back, go to school, and
I think a field trip to the ballpark is a great idea.
You can learn at the ballpark too.
They had a class on the weather early on.
Did you partake in any of that? I know you were a big fan.
I sat up here and watched for a little while, but then I ended up leaving a little early. In fact, I came down and found you in your office.
See it. Russell getting a bitter lead over there now. Always good to brush up on your clouds, the cumulonimbus, the stratus, etc.
They were talking about El Niños and things like that.
Oh wow, weather patterns. See, kids can learn a lot here today. Glad they're out. Can't wait for the Pirates to do something. You get to hear that high-pitched shrill of
victory
voice. Yes, the shrill. Nicasio had 2 strikes on Russell. Now the same here on Ross. This cloud is, what is this? This is
Sirius.
Cirrus clouds. Okay, all right. I'll take your word for it.
Sirius clouds.
Oh, Sirius, not Cirrus. Okay, I got you. One of our meteorologists in town will call us out on that. I'm sure we got that wrong. He strikes out David Ross.
Good slider that time.
Looks like it's going to be at the knees, and then great shot done there on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Now John Lester, who has improved as a hitter, and he was in the American League and just hit on a rare occasion. Gone most of his career without getting a hit. Last year finally got on the board, and now 1 out of 6.
2 sack bunts. That's not bad at all. He's only struck out 1 time. Nothing wrong with those numbers at all for a pitcher.
Nicasio had 2 strikes on the 3rd straight hitter. Arrieta. He had a base hit and drove in a run yesterday. John Neese has done that as a pinch hitter already this year. See, pitchers can hit. I don't know why you keep pushing for the DH, Bob.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. It's not that I think they can hit. It's just that it makes the game much better. When you have, it's almost actually, it's because they can't hit that makes the game better.
Because you have to pull your pitchers sometimes before
yeah,
you want to.
It changes the entire strategy of how you play the game, how you pitch the game, how the hitters hit, how the manager manages. Heck, how a GM puts his team together.
Yeah.
How much more important is a bench in the National League than it is in the American League? American League, I mean, look at the pinch hit attempts between American League teams and National League teams. I mean, it's like they're playing a different sport.
It's been fun to watch Liriano swing the bat.
Another one of those guys that's got much better at it. He came over from the American League most of his career and really couldn't do a lot with the stick. But now their best hitting pitcher.
Well, Nicasio has gone 0-2 on Russell, Ross, and Lester. And the next one he'll throw to Lester. 20 pitches among those 3 hitters, yet being up 0-2 on all of them. This will be his 50th pitch overall. And he'll get his man.
Number 2 here at PNC Park. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski, and former Pirate David Ross is playing his 16th and final season in Major League Baseball. And 2 of his younger teammates are documenting this final season on social media via Instagram. And as Point Park brings us a couple Instagram photos from the Instagram account Grandpa Rossi _3. Look at a few photos as they document what goes on in his final season, like watching his son's game in Arizona while the Cubs were at spring training. The guys having a full squad workout, and also taking a photo with Clark the Cub. Who doesn't love Clark the Cub? Now here's the neat thing about the whole thing, Joe and Bob. Rizzo and Bryant have the password to the account, and they are not going to give it to Ross until the end of the season. But feel free to check it out and see that David Ross is quite happy to play along. There's also a pretty funny video in there of David Ross walking with a cane to the training room that they post as well. So it's a really cool way and a nice way to keep David Ross feeling a little bit young at heart. But those guys get in. Wonder what David Ross will eventually post once he gets the password after his season and career comes to a close.
Yeah, Robbie, you might be accumulating some things he can blackmail all these guys back with over the course of the year.
Yeah, they might change their mind about giving him the password.
Yeah. Ross, 39 years old, and the Pirates catcher, Francisco Cervelli, leading off the bottom of the second. So Grandpa Rossi and then Francisco Cervelli is the guy who gives the dating advice. It's been a beautiful segment put together here at the ballpark, and That's Amore, he takes people's tweets and gives the advice. I love how social media has really been another avenue for fans to be able to be connected to their favorite players and teams. It's a cool thing. Andrew McCutchen just receiving an award for his interaction with fans. Right into the glove of Lester.
Gonna have to throw the glove.
That counts. You can't throw your glove at a ball to field it, but you can do it in that manner to record the out.
That was interesting that Rizzo got rid of his glove so that he could properly catch the new one.
They've actually done this before.
Yes. It's almost like this has been practiced. There it is. Oh, can't get it out. I know what to do now. And Rizzo dumps his glove so he can just get the other one. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. There you go. Now put your hand on right on top of it there. There you go.
It's like you're holding a cub without the talons.
Cubs have talons?
I don't know. Nails. Don't deal with bears very often.
I see that. Talons.
Oh, you know what?
That's the
claws.
That's the flying bears that have
their claws, talons. Like the Marlins reliever, bear claw. Yeah. I don't know why I'm not thinking that. There's a base hit for Sean Rodriguez. He just keeps on hitting, doesn't he?
Sure does. I mean, 342 batting average, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Not the numbers of a utility player.
And that will go up after that hit. 2 hits yesterday.
Very experienced against Lester. That met a lot in the American League. That's his 36th at bat against John Lester.
Hasn't had a lot of ABs, so that average goes up to 359 now.
Well, that is the mark of a utility player. Of course, at this time of year, everybody's batting average is going to be moving around more than normal.
Take a 359 start. He's almost driven in as many runs as he did last year. He's walked more than he did last year. He's hit as many home runs as he's done all of last year in about 200 fewer plate appearances. Lester stepping off to try to keep Rodriguez close.
Scare him back.
A little bit more shorn beard today.
Yeah, there's that quick move home. Not much of a leg kick. He's just sliding his foot forward as quick as he can so he can get rid of the baseball. I'm going to guess that was probably about a 1-2-8 going home.
We did this in spring training a couple of times, and you were within like 300ths of a second every time. It's kind of freaky.
Well, it's just from watching the leg kicks and timing so many of them that you kind of don't need to watch. You just kind of look at the leg kick and see, okay, this guy's quick or he's slow or he's in the middle somewhere. Then you take your best guess.
So as a base runner, you can kind of develop that same thing over time after seeing a lot of different pitchers.
Yeah, coaches used to not stand out there with stopwatches on. That was all done by like. Wow, I think he was stealing that time.
Yeah, Rodriguez had a huge lead.
Huge lead.
Basically, where that grass is done being cut out, that was almost where his lead foot was.
They used to, you just look out there and you could tell if a guy was quick home, slow home.
He went another couple of steps from that. He was even further than that on the last pitch. And that's what happens if you get too big of a lead.
Got out there in the secondary lead's what got him in trouble. If you get way out there and then you don't go to second base, well, the catcher's gonna take a shot at you. You know what I think happening right there is Sean's got this huge primary lead, and then as the pitch goes home, he takes his normal 2 jumps. Well, you got to shorten that up if you're going to take the big primary lead. You can't take your normal 2 jumps because now you're out there in no man's land.
And the base hit to follow. So back-to-back singles, but helped by the pickoff. It's a nice, easy swing from Josh Harrison.
Well, maybe J-Hay can do a little running here now.
He hasn't been thrown out all year, 5 for 5. Helps to have a very good defensive catcher like David Ross back there. That's why those two have been the battery in tandem from Boston and now here with the Cubs. Gregory Polanco, 299.
Another huge lead at first base. And that time J-Hay really did shorten up his secondary lead. He didn't go very far after he took his primary lead, and then he just shuffled off probably about half of where he normally would go.
And Rizzo, instead of staying on the bag, he kind of follows the runner a little bit and then gets back over in case Ross wants to throw, because he knows Lester's not going to throw. You don't normally see that. Couple of hits, and the Pirates strand a man, and we're scoreless through 2.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find the location near you. Let's go Bucks!
Third inning on the banks of the Allegheny. Pirates and Cubs are scoreless in the series finale. Final game of the homestand. Wednesday matinee, all the kids.
The Raiders
coming out. Is that Waynesburg, I think?
I don't know. Cool looking red shirt. So.
A lot of kids out here today. All the school buses piling in this morning. Juan Nicasio set to work. He has given up a single and a walk in each inning. One of those singles to Fowler. Starting the inning at 50 pitches, so he could use some early weak contact. Or no contact at all.
You don't like the no contact. That's high pitch count, no contact.
Not when you're throwing strikes.
Some advice from Johnny Sane back.
One of the greats.
Early 80s. Very seldom during a game does a starting pitcher throw a ball he doesn't want someone to hit. When you think about it, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Why would you want no contact? You know, unless you're like.
Yeah, you're not tiring early in the game.
Unless you want to be real proud about your strikeouts. Now, how do you get outs? They catch ground balls, catch fly balls. That's how you get outs. And you don't want them to hit that ground ball after you've thrown them 6 or 7 pitches. You want them to hit that ground ball on the first, second, or third pitch. That's when you want them to hit that ground ball.
5th time he's gone full on a hitter. And it's the 3rd walk. Fowler aboard again, and the Cubs continue to have the leadoff man on. The kids who won't want to miss the chance to be the Moe's Pirates Parrot sidekick before a Pirates home game. Fans ages 6 to 14 can join the Parrot and pregame festivities at PNC Park. You can enter for your chance to be the Parrot sidekick at participating Moe's Southwest Grill locations now through May the 12th. You got about a week left. You can also do the same thing if you'd like and assist the Parrot in nibbling on patrons' hair. All the other antics.
I'm not sure she's really enjoying that. The hair nibble.
Broke his bat. She gets one. The relay. Too late. Jordy Mercer with a quick turn, but Listella beat out the back end.
Jay had to get over into that second base hole. Now he's got to turn and make the long throw back to second base. That takes a little bit of time. Looked like he might have hesitated a little bit getting that ball out of his glove too. Had a little problem with that. So not really a routine double play.
Now Bryant with Listella aboard. Broke his bat. That's out number 2. Well, he's got about 3 or 4 souvenirs now from the Cubs.
Well, that's what you're looking for right there, that early contact. Not getting quite enough of it.
Fairly quickly with 2 away. Ocasio struck out Rizzo his first time. Oz Diaz had to move over to the other side of the infield, the second base umpire.
They don't move over there very often.
Yeah, he's on the left side with runner aboard at first. Basically playing shortstop.
Yeah, well, in the old days he'd be standing right in front of the shortstop. That's why almost never saw an umpire over on that side of the field.
It's kind of like, hey, all right, hanging out here. Am I in anybody's way? No. Okay, this is weird. Got the infielders all bunched together for the lefty. hard guy to beat, even though they shift on him. He's been able to hit lefties now in his career. He draws more walks than strikeouts, still hits for great power, still walks a ton. Anthony Rizzo, one of the best in the league. Nicasio got him last time. Fooled by that liner right at him. And the Cubs will have men at the corners. He had to look out as that one was coming straight for his head.
And almost like he threw the glove up to kind of defend himself.
That'll be an error on McCutcheon.
That did hit his glove, right? Oh yeah, it did.
Spilled out. So assessed an error. Estella moves to third. Nicasio was hoping for that quick inning.
Yeah, that would have got him to 62 pitches and
12 pitch inning. That would have been fun.
Yeah, put him on pace for 100 pitches through 5 innings, but that's better than the pace he's been on.
Green gets Zobrist quickly here. Zobrist hits one deep to right field, and one pitch after the error, a 3-run home run for the Cubs. And Zobrist hits his second, and Chicago takes advantage again. They are so good in this series, and I assume all year, first time we've seen them, just taking advantage of the other team's mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, when you get a shot at a 4th out, especially with runners in scoring position, you want to be able to do that. I mean, that's kind of the sign of a good team, when they can take advantage of those situations. And you can't do it any bigger way than hit it over the fence.
Baez. Fastball right down the middle.
Yeah, there wasn't much doubt where that ball was going off the bat.
Remember, he started Zobrist with a slider last time, and he was guessing fastball.
Yep.
Baez beats it out. That's an infield base hit.
Like Jay had a little tough time with that ball getting it out of his glove.
Shortstop Addison Russell.
Oh, yeah, that ball actually, I don't think it hit the glove. I think it hit him up on his wrist, and then he trapped it between his legs. Now, starting Sunday, that game against the Reds, we'd been playing such good baseball up to that point, but that Sunday game was not a good baseball game for the Pirates, and just been too many mistakes since then.
Yeah, and he knows it.
Oh yeah, he can kick the dirt. He knows if he just catches that ball cleanly in the glove, he's got an out.
McCutcheon had the ball right in his glove. It just came out before he was able to secure it. Zobrist hitting the 3-run home run. So now Nicasio's pitch count rises. Inning continues. Cubs get runs. And yeah, it's just, you know, I was talking with Clint Hurdle a couple of days, I guess over the weekend, maybe that Friday game against the Reds, about how good the defense had been all throughout April, really. And, you know, how that's usually something that doesn't get talked about unless the team is doing poorly at defense. And the Pirates were excellent defensively.
We're kind of talking about it.
Now we talk about
not
it.
A good sign.
Yeah.
You're right.
I was trying to talk about it before.
Defense is kind of like the offensive line.
Right. No one talks about it until there's a hold.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why did that guy hold? Well, he didn't hold on to the other 94 snaps.
When it's working, it doesn't stand out.
2-2 on Russell.
Nicasio's going to be over 70 pitches
That likely means you're looking at no more than a 5-inning outing.
If that.
This is not an easy play. And it's a base hit. Russell runs well, and there's no chance. A slowly hit ball. So 3 straight hits since the error. All the runs unearned in Nicasio, but that's little consolation.
And not much you're going to do with that. Now, if there would have been 2 out, or excuse me, 1 out, and Mercer would have been playing in about halfway because he would have been looking for a double play. But with 2 outs, he's playing deep, so the little slow roller on the infield grass just can't get there in time.
Mound chat.
They're talking about the ground ball up the middle. Maybe J.A. asking Mercer, you know, what did that last hop look like from the side? That looked like it came up on me. You know, things like that. I imagine they go back and forth about it because the guy standing off to the side, he's got a better look at what that ball is doing.
Now David Ross struck out last inning. And an easy play for Polanco. Now the Cubs get 3 on the home run by Zobrist. And we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. 3-0 Chicago. Cubs open with a 3-0 lead, and between innings, Clint Hurdle trying to reassure Andrew McCutchen that ball. He had it, and then it popped away, and the next pitch, 3-run home run from Zobrist. Pirates just got to get some runs. Had a hard time scoring against the Cubs. All the teams in baseball have, but need a little something offensively. That's what always gets teams fired up, right? The hit, the bats get going, and then kind of loosens everybody up a little bit.
Need to get the bats going here somehow. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it. That's a necessity.
Well, they've been so good at grinding out at bats, working counts. Jeff Branson, Jeff Livesey have worked extensively with the hitters who have executed the game plan very well. But of course, against very, very good pitchers, they exploit that, and by you know, if they're throwing strikes, you're not going to walk. And if they're throwing quality strikes, you're not going to probably get a hit. So tip of the cap, but still very difficult.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that
that's a first.
The mediocre. Well, no. The mediocre to the poor pitchers are going to really be the ones that struggle against a team that shows that patience and won't go out there and won't do a lot of chasing at bad pitches. Whereas the guys that are real good, well, they're real good because they have good command, and so they're going to be able to recognize what it is that the team's doing through the scouting report, or just from their own experiences more often than not, and they will get aggressive in that strike zone early, and then when they establish that they're throwing strikes, then they'll move out of the strike zone and get you to chase.
And the Cubs right now.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say the good guys are good for a reason.
Yeah. Well, the Cubs right now have the best pitching staff in baseball. If you talk about the stats, run prevention, they're #1 in hitting and in pitching. So
the run differential that you were talking to me before the game
it's eye-popping, really.
It really is an amazing number.
So before you get too down about the Pirates and where they are on May the 4th, think about what the Cubs have been doing, and not just against the Pirates in this series, but against every team in baseball. They're playing some kind of otherworldly ball to begin the year.
It's difficult too to maintain that kind of pace.
Right, they're going to have their struggles too.
There'll be a situation where they start to come back a little bit.
So 2 gone, and yeah, we're talking about the run differential. How many more runs have they scored than their opponent through 25 games? That's where they are in their schedule.
89.
It's the best since 1905. It's almost 4 runs a game, and they've actually outscored their opponents more than the Rays have scored total runs at this point this season. I mean, it is an absolute walloping what the Cubs have done. But again,
they got to believe that cannot continue.
We're a sixth of the way into the season, so
even as great a season as the Cardinals had last year, they went through a little bit of a run there where they started to come back to the pack a little. They were able to minimize that pretty well, but it'll happen to the Cubs. They'll have a bad stretch. They'll lose 8 out of 10, something like that. And
look at what the Pirates did after that sluggish start last year.
And they'll look human.
I mean, the Pirates go 18-22 to begin the year last year, and then played some otherworldly baseball for a long stretch. And you can't really expect that from 162 games very often. So there's going to be ebbs and flows, but that's why, you know, a series like this, Pirates can come back today. They get 1. All right, the Cubs pick up 1 game on them in the series with some great pitching and playing at their best. You feel okay. All right, we hung around them. Lester offers 1-2-3 inning on that good scoop by Rizzo. First time today the Pirates without a hit in a frame against Lester.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
It's a beautiful matinee here on a Wednesday. Glad you're with us. 3-0 the Cubs on a Zobrist home run. And Chicago comes to bat here in the 4th. Great day to bring your kids out here. A lot of kids here. Maybe take some notes. Okay, what does she do? All right, I got my glove. Nicasio with another first pitch strike.
Well, the ball girls here are the best in baseball. They did just a phenomenal job at going out and protecting the fans and keeping the foul balls off the field and making sure that the pace of play continues. They're very good at it. They know the game too. It's a lot of times, and I'm sure you've witnessed this, whether it be males, females, whatever down the line, they'll go out and they'll try to catch everything. You know, the fair balls too, or they won't catch anything because then they're not sure if it's a fair ball. Not these ladies.
Getting coached up.
They know,
all right, see what you do.
They know
here.
what to do.
John Lester leading it off. Big hop handled nicely. And here's this afternoon's Allegheny Health Network injury update. And around baseball last couple of days, Homer Bailey a setback in his rehab assignment coming back from Tommy John surgery. He's been shut down for the time being. And the Reds also, Devin Mesoraco, their catcher, a torn labrum, placed on the DL. He may not return this year. Paulo Sandoval also may be out for the season after undergoing left shoulder surgery. He was coincidentally scheduled right after Elias Diaz, who the Pirates catcher, who had a debridement of the right elbow, a little cleanup surgery. So that's not Tommy John surgery. It was just a cleanup procedure. Scope, he'll miss 7 to 9 weeks. So it's better than missing a whole season. They tried to rehab it, but at least Diaz will get probably about a half a season in, it sounds like. So that's good.
Yeah, it's a real good news that it wasn't a Tommy John situation.
Yeah, even position players sometimes have to have that.
And for him, it's so important. That's one of his big weapons is his arm. I mean, that's kind of what really got him on the radar as a big league catching prospect is how well he threw. You don't want to see anything happen to his elbow.
2 balls to 2 strikes. So we've seen Juan Nicasio get ahead of hitters with strike 1, 17 out of the 19 hitters. He's got 2 outs here in the 4th. And he's also at 82 pitches. So strike 1 he's getting. He's just not getting strike 3 or getting the ball put in play.
Well, in some cases he's getting strike 3, but it takes another 6 or 7 pitches to do that instead of getting the ball put in play. And that's, you know.
Yeah, you'll take 89%. That's very, very good.
That's very, very good. But the problem is the pitch count. And, you know, if this was, 40, 50 years ago, pitch count wasn't looked at quite as much as it is now. They let you throw 120 pitches. And you could go a little bit deeper in the ball game, but not now. 100 pitches, they want to get you out of there. They're trying to protect your arm. And so when you have afternoons like this, you become a 5-inning pitcher no matter what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, it used to always be, when you see guys getting the ball up a little bit, he's, maybe he's losing his command, he's walking guys, he's losing his effectiveness.
Yeah, when you see something happening that you didn't see in the first 5 or 6 innings, then it was like, okay, there's a problem here. We got to get the bullpen up. And you're right. It's not necessarily giving up base hits. It's maybe a change in pace. He was working fast. Now he's working slow. Maybe the ball is coming up in the strike zone. He was working real, down around the knees real well for the entire game. Every pitcher probably back then had a different type of red flag that would come up and get the manager or the pitching coach's attention.
Arrieta, walked the first 2 hitters and then moved quickly through.
He gives up a hit. That's
he didn't even have to come out yesterday.
That's his red flag if he gives up a hit. Oh, something's wrong.
Yeah. It's been that way for him. 2-out hit for LaStella, bringing up Chris Bryant. But that was always the eye test. And, look, we're still trying to figure out why pitchers get hurt more often. Stan Connie, the Dodgers trainer, says that starting pitchers, half of them are going to go on the DL over the course of a year, and a third of relievers will hit the disabled list at some point these days. That's incredible. And baseball has done everything they can to try to prevent that, and limiting pitchers' innings has seemed to do really nothing about that.
Were those same numbers as far as the DL? Were those happening 40 years ago?
No. Clearly not. And it's spiked since the days of Steve Blass throwing 300 innings, which we'll never see again probably. A complete game was no big deal in the 70s, 60s. Hey, a lot of times you'd pitch in a loss in a complete game. You lost 3-2, 4-3. I mean, even when you're pitching not that long ago, 9 and 10 man pitching staffs, right?
Yeah, 10. It came in the league of 10-man pitching staff for probably a month and a half, 2 months of the season. We had a 4-man rotation. So I mean, it was
early off days in April, and
in the middle of the summer, we
or
had a 4-man rotation.
If you had the right off days, or
didn't have enough guys to fill out a 5-man rotation. In fact,
you'd make 36 starts, 37 starts.
There was a 4-man rotation in AAA, which really was unheard of.
Yeah, and the injuries seem to be less. Guys would pitch through some things. Now, I'm not saying it was always better back then, because now we do find things earlier and can try to prevent things from getting worse sometimes. It's an inexact science. Runner going on 3-2. Routine fly ball to Marte. And Nicasio twirls a scoreless 4th. Pirates coming up trailing 3-0. Foul pole here. Now, how do you get that? Oh, that's how. That's Joe out there shooting straight up. 3-0 on our UPMC scoreboard. Cubs have the lead on a Ben Zobrist home run. See if the Buccos can solve that. There's Joe. Hi.
Right next to the fair pole.
Yeah. You bring up a good point. Why is it called the foul pole? If it hits it, it's a fair ball.
I had this discussion years ago, and that's just now dawned on me because I wondered about the fair lines. And then I did a little research, and I found out why they didn't call them fair lines.
Why? There's a little flare for David Freese, and he's got 2 hits.
The company in Detroit already trademarked that name.
Oh, okay.
The fair line.
No.
No, just kidding. I have no idea why.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
no,
the car company? Really? Is that really it?
You've heard of the fair line. You're from Detroit.
Oh, of course. I don't know a tenth as much about cars as you do.
But I really don't. I've never really understood how that got started as foul and foul line, foul pole, when if you hit it, it's fair.
Here's Starling Marte, hit one back to the mound back in the first. Let's take a look and see if Freese not a guy that runs, but we've been watching John Lester, and he in tandem with David Ross, who unloads the ball so quickly, has been able to.
I don't think Freese is going to go.
He's only stolen 8 bases in his career. Not getting any huge lead over there.
No, he's not.
But he's a great example of, okay, so Lester last year allowed more steals from a lefty than any left-hander in 50 years. So you'd think, okay, a guy that's unlikely to steal, can he even get a stolen base? But, you know, it's, as you were talking earlier, it's not just because he doesn't throw over to first base. There's so many things that Lester does well and Ross does well to prohibit attempts.
When he gets a fast guy over there, he really cuts his leg kick down quite a bit. We saw that.
And Ross was able to pick off.
When Sean was over there, Jay Hay was over there. You didn't see the big leg kick. He was mainly thinking about him get the ball home quick.
One of the rare times he's been behind. And with Nicasio's pitch count at 91, the bullpen starting to be on alert. There's the first walk of the day issued by John Lester. And the first time today the Pirates have had 2 men aboard at the same time.
Yeah, this is the opportunity you're waiting for to get back in this ball game. Even important to get just 1 out of this inning. We're in the middle of the lineup right now, so that number 9 spot's going to be getting closer and closer.
Hope it comes up this inning. Number 5 hitter.
It would be hard for it to get up and us not at least get 1 run out of it.
It'd be impossible.
It's pretty hard. Impossible is pretty hard.
Francisco Cervelli. You can have 6 men come up and not score.
No, that's not impossible, is it? Cervelli's up right now.
Pitch. And a swing and a line, a base hit. Freese will be held at third, and the Pirates will have the bases loaded with nobody out.
Yes, it is impossible, isn't it? Huge opportunity now. Would you almost feel like this is a must situation, the way the weekend's gone?
Get 1 or 2 here,
yeah,
right? You gotta get a couple, I feel like.
I was going to be satisfied with 1, but now I think you got to have 2 out of this.
I think that's fair. Odds tell you that
you get the fastest guy on the team out of second base with the number 2 run, with nobody out. 3 shots at a base hit.
Freese the lead runner, then Marte. Cervelli just wrapped that single. Base is full of Bucks. Nobody out for Rodriguez. Hitting at 359. And he had 2 hits yesterday. Another one here his first time around. There's those kids. And Chris Bosio wants to come out and talk with Lester.
Bosio definitely sees the danger in this situation. And I think the ball one pitch up and in, probably wanted to come out and say something anyway, and that was the difference maker when he fell behind in the count.
Lester has given up more than 1 run in only 1 of his 5 starts. He's been really tough as Ryan Vogelsong loosens in the Pirates bullpen. This is a chance to get him on the ropes a little bit. Nobody out, bases loaded. And the 1-0. Home run cut. One. And now ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Cubs have taken the first 2 games of this series. Pirates, their best chance. And now 3 balls and a strike and nowhere to put Sean Rodriguez. Josh Harrison, who had a base hit his first time, on deck. Three-1. Now it's full.
Got a little over anxious there. I think that would have been ball 4, it looked like. So I'm probably thinking about that. Thinking, okay. Of course, now with 2 strikes, it's a little bit different situation. You can't take a close one.
Payoff from Lester. He spoils it. Now the Pirates just have not had very many chances against these Cubs. They had only 3 hits all of yesterday. They scored twice in the opener on Monday. 3-2. This one is foul.
Too much hook. Man.
That gets him in the corner. It's an easy couple of runs.
That was hit so hard too. That might rattle around a little bit. Be a tough one to pick up.
Rodriguez will see the 8th pitch of this at bat. Bases full of buccos. Nobody out. 3-2. And he struck him out.
Was able to show some patience early on to get himself into a hitter's count in a 3-1. Took a close one there. Took another close one there. But then that was the ball 4 pitch. This was the one. This coming was one he just rips down the line. And then this one a little outside, just a little bit. Once he got ahead in the count to that 3-1, it looked like Sean got a little too anxious, wanting to get that big hit.
And you talked about it in the open about being kids, and this lineup has done so well at, all right, let's keep the line moving. If you don't get anything good to hit, all right, let's pass it on to the next guy. You walk in a run, okay, great. Lester continues to be in trouble. Maybe the next guy will bring him in because everybody has done that.
Absolutely, and the key there was that 3-1 pitch. That's when he could have just taken ball 4, got 1 run in, passed the baton. But
Yeah, then one individual guy doesn't have to try to rip that, bases clearing double because everybo's been hitting this year.
And on 3-2 also, he swung one that was off the plate. But on a 3-2 pitch, I mean, you can certainly understand that.
And Freeze will not come home, and now there's 2 outs. A little shallow.
As I was saying, when that ball was popped up, you can understand on the 3-2 count, because now you're not just keyholing looking for a certain pitch that you really want. Now you're having to protect a little bit. I mean, you know that he can't walk you, but also if you take something close, it could be strike 3 looking.
Now 2 outs, and the Cubs may get out of this without allowing a run. And that has gone from being the Pirates licking their chops to trying to get something here in this inning. Polanco has really stung the ball this year, coming into today leading all hitters in baseball in hard hit percentage, the most hard hit balls out of any hitter. Use one right, not at somebody right here. Got to play fairly straight up with the bases loaded.
Good patience here.
It's been great to see Polanco. More walks than strikeouts, which these days is a mark of an excellent eye and a good hitter. Rogers would follow.
And being patient isn't necessarily, thinking, okay, I'm going to take a couple here, do this. It's having the confidence to be able to look for the pitch you want to hit and just say no to anything else. And now if it gets to 2 strikes, you have to change a little bit. But until that point, you know what you want to hit and don't go after anything unless that's the pitch.
That was very close to being the pitch. Polanco just missed it, 2-2.
And now you're in a 2-strike situation. Now it changes. Now you have to protect the strike zone a little bit more. But until you get to this point, hit what you want to hit. Not what the pitcher wants you to swing at.
Two. Awfully close. Now full. That's a pitcher's pitch right there.
Yeah, he was definitely wanted him to put that one in play.
Sofield hopes to get the windmill going. Runners will be on the move. Bases full of Bucks with 2 outs. 3-2. And he struck him out. The Pirates had the bases loaded with nobody out, and the Cubs get out of it without a run. 3-0 Chicago. It stays. They're on Kids Day at PNC Park. Hey, some of the Root Sports kids, they came up to see us and visit the booth. They're here having fun in a suite today. Lots of kids out here at the old ball
I'll bet
game.
you there's some sweets in that suite.
Yeah, judging by how quick they're moving around, yeah. So Juan Nicasio, his spot was on deck. He lives to pitch at least to start another inning. He has struck out Rizzo today. Rizzo reached on an error, and then Ben Zobrist on the next pitch had a 3-run home run. Kind of a funny thing how baseball goes sometimes, right? When you're going good, like the Cubs are. 2. Well into center, and this one is played off the wall. So Rizzo, with a pair of doubles yesterday, adds another here to start the 5th inning. But you know, the Cubs probably should have been out of that inning in the 3rd. They get a 3-run home run on the next pitch. Pirates bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th, and they don't score.
Long fly ball off the catch-it bottle to start the inning.
The Hines McCutcheon. The Cubs with a leadoff man on in 4 out of the 5 innings. 7th double for Rizzo, and 5th in the series. 5 doubles. Zobrist hit that home run right after the error in the 3rd. It's the only runs of the ball game so far. Banks, Mr. Cub.
That's play 2.
Always a big smile on his face. Lost to Ernie Banks last year. I'll get the out. Nice job to hold Rizzo at 2nd.
Now Rizzo had thoughts of moving on the throw, but Mercer saw what was going on and took off, kind of beat him to the punch, and then Rizzo thought better of it. There was going to be somebody over there.
Kept going back and forth.
Now right there, Rizzo's thinking about it, and then out of the corner of his eye, he saw Mercer was running that way, and he thought, nope, not a good idea.
One away for Baez, who has singled twice today. Cubs with 7 hits, Pirates with 5. Both teams have had some chances, though. Cubs are left on 6, Pirates 5. Juan Nicasio has not thrown more than 101 pitches in a game this year, so Jared Hughes is loosening.
That 101, that was the 3-inning effort, wasn't it?
That was 2 starts ago in Arizona.
Oh, what did he throw in Detroit?
94.
Oh, 94. What?
But in only 3 innings.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was thinking that was there was a bunch of pitches that day, but not 100.
And then Nicasio's last start, he threw 97, but that lasted him 7 innings. So it's funny how we look at pitches now these days as kind of the denominator of how far a pitcher works.
Yeah, there's been times where I've said to myself, okay, I'm going to go through the whole game. I'm not going to mention a pitch count at all. But I end up doing it because it's become such a part of the game.
Yeah, instead of, oh, he pitched 5 innings. Because each inning can be a different amount of work, I guess. Here's his 101st.
Well, it's just that there's very few starting pitchers that are allowed to pitch much over 100 pitches, and sometimes they're taken out even before they get to 100 because they don't want the pitcher to go out and start another inning knowing that maybe after the first hitter he's going to be over the century mark. That goes back to the injury thing.
I'm thinking less is more.
Less pitches will create less injuries.
And there's been shown to be no correlation. Unfortunately, I'd like to have everybody stay healthy longer. 2-2. And that one's into the corner for Baez. Rizzo in to score on the ground rule double. And has it been signaled a double or not? Now they're going to have to go find it and see. Well, now if we're going to have to look at what the ground rules are here in this ballpark. But I don't know yet, so let's see.
2 bases.
It will be 2 bases. Yep. If it does get stuck underneath there, it is a ground rule. Generally speaking, in all ballparks, that's the case. If it gets stuck somewhere.
Well, Baez did the right thing. He kept running until they sent him back.
Yep, that in all ballparks, that is a standard ground rule in baseball. And it's also going to be the final pitch that Juan Nicasio throws this afternoon. And the Cubs leading 4-0 here in the 5th.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Beautiful scenery as always here at PNC Park. 4-0 though the Cubs. It's a long way to come here and see this beautiful ballpark. Hughes trying to catch Javi Baez napping. Hughes pitching in back-to-back games and 3 out of 4 now since being recalled.
That was almost an out, and then it was almost an error. Baez has jumped way off on the spin move. There he goes, and now you got him, but the throw wide, and Almost went into center field. Chehe able to just get enough of it to keep it out from the outfield grass.
First time Hughes has come on mid-inning, as Clint Hurdle has wanted to work Hughes into a couple of clean innings first as he makes his way back. Had a lat strain that sidelined him about halfway through spring training. Kept about a month or so, and then a couple of weeks down at Indianapolis rehabbing. Russell has singled and walked today. Well, yet again, the Pirates bullpen is going to have to pick up some innings. Did not have a starter go more than 5 in this 3-game series.
Hey, you wonder when they can get to that situation where they can have an extra bench player and not so many guys in the bullpen, but still not getting that consistent length.
Yeah, the pitcher spot leads off the next inning, so this will be the only inning for Hughes. There goes Baez running. It's Sean Rodriguez, the first baseman. And now they got him rung up. And finally, Baez put out 3-2-5-3. But they just trade base runners as Russell moves all the way to second base.
Yeah, the Cub base runners doing a good job there. They're making the Pirates play defense, make them throw the ball around, see if they can, provoke an error of some point, get a ball thrown away, and it all ends up being exactly the same.
Give Russell a single with Rodriguez playing so far off the line. He wasn't going to get the out there anyway. Yeah, he was so far off the line, he wasn't going to get.
We're going to throw it to Hughes. Well, then that's not a very good play. Then I'd take that back. If that was a hit, well, then they didn't just trade base runners. They messed up.
It would have been first and third if Baez held his footing.
Yeah, I was assuming that they were going to have an out at first, but yeah, you're right.
He could have even, with that rundown, he might have even been able to sneak into third base. How long it took. Now David Ross 0 for 2 against Nicasio. Juan went 4 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs. Still responsible for Russell, though. That's still on his ledger. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 3 of those runs unearned on that home run by Zobrist following the error with 2 outs in that 3rd inning. One, 2. And he checked. Doug Eddings. And no Miguel Montero. He's had a back injury, so on the DL. So we've seen Ross and Fedorovich.
No Schwarber.
Yeah,
out
Schwarber
for the year. It's really a huge injury for him. Even though it doesn't look like it to this point, the way they're playing. What a big bat to lose for the season.
Well, you talk about, we've talked about the depth of the Cubs. Pirates, the same thing. When you build a team, you hope to have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. Pirates bench has been very good this year. The Cubs coming into the year, that was part of the design, keeping some of those extra players. 2-out walk to David Ross, and John Lester will get his 3rd AB. You can personalize your experience at PNC Park with the official MLB.com ballpark app. The free app includes daily game info, seat upgrades, and the chance to purchase exclusive memories. Plus, you can unlock special offers at the ballpark when you check in. Download from the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. guys are already downloading the app right now. Thank you for responding so quickly. Strike to Lester. Play to end the inning. The Cubs add another and lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Way. And look at our day automotive this day in baseball history. We go back to 1992 when the Pirates beat the Reds 12-5 thanks to a franchise record tying 11-run 6th inning. Jose Lind and pinch hitter Cecil Espy each twice had RBI hits in the inning. Jeff King, Barry Bonds, Don Slaught each reaching a couple of times that inning as well. And the Pirates more than erased that 4-run deficit with that big inning. Do you remember that one?
No.
But I bet you could tell me, I remember when this guy grounded out. Like some thing that's insignificant.
Exactly.
It's funny how that works.
I can't remember like specific games. I can remember something that may have happened that somehow stuck in my mind from a certain town or stadium.
I remember this really great force out that.
Let me think. A really great force out.
Jason Rogers pinch hitting for Hughes. One pitch and one out for John Lester. Something so insignificant, but yet that sticks in my mind. Baez had his old tricks.
Great arm. I remember Bond's first home run.
Yeah,
significant event that
sure
stuck in my mind. Opposite field in Atlanta.
Kind of apropos, perhaps, that it was hit in Atlanta. Thinking about how his career would play.
Perhaps
out.
not. Guess we'll be seeing Barry this year, coming into town with the Marlins.
That's right. The hitting coach of the Marlins. Shall I dare judge the Marlins to see how they're hitting so far this year? See if he's had a positive influence. All right, let's take a gander. Well, they're about middle of the pack so far, which is, I think, better than they were doing last year. So might be an uptick. Of course, they'll be without D. Gordon for about half the season now. That will change any team's offense. Mercer 0 for 2 today. This time it's Russell. Just barely got
it. Needed a good arm for that one.
I think he got him, but Glenn Hurdle is going to challenge that.
They're going to take a look.
Let's see. Oh, I think he is safe.
Looks like he's safe.
Yeah, the naked eye. I didn't know if he really did get him, but let's see. Wait for that ball. He's on the base. Now it's in. Yeah. This one looks like it'll be overturned.
Pirates should win this one.
Talk about getting out of the box quickly, and you know, it's balls like this that, you know, over the course of the year you may only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, but you know, there's little times where you just hustle down the line and really try to just run hard to first base, and you steal a couple of these every year, and maybe the Pirates get one here.
Yeah, this you would think going to be a routine out at first base, but Mercer wouldn't allow it.
So they go back to New York, and replay officials there. There's an umpire working the day shift, trying to evaluate what's happening. There's a couple of 3 other games, 4 now going on throughout baseball.
They had to take a little extra crawl hop there, because he didn't quite get the grip the first time. That ball kind of rattled around in his glove. And boy, you got to look at 2 places at once. I don't like that. My eyes just don't split like that.
Well, the umpire can't do that.
No,
the umpire has to hear it.
He's looking down at the base and listening for the ball hitting the glove.
And the call is coming down, and he's safe. The Pirates win the challenge.
High goes to the runner. Isn't that what they always say?
Yeah, and pick up ball, and that's a great angle right there. You can see the ball.
It hasn't hit.
Not all the way through the webbing yet.
It's close.
And
hasn't actually hit leather yet.
It's got to get to the very back of the mitt. That's when it doesn't have to be squeezed yet, but once the ball is hit to the back of the mitt, that is when it's decided that it is in the fielder's glove. That's how close it was.
When horsehide hits cow leather. Guess they're not horsehide anymore.
Strike 1 to Andrew McCutchen, 0 for 2.
Football still pigskin?
I don't think so. I don't know that, but I think that changed in the 70s, I believe. But that's how close it is, and when baseball went to replay, they had to define when is the ball in the glove, and that's how they universally define it.
Makes sense.
A ball and a strike. And the Pirates have the bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th. Trying to regenerate something against Leicester here in the 5th inning. Mercer with a good series with 4 hits. Nick's in there for a strike. McCutchen with a home run in this series that came back in the 1st inning on Monday. It's the only time the Pirates have led in this series. Cubs took the lead in the 3rd inning of that game, and they've scored first in each of the last 2. Oh, hey, good to see Teak having a little pre-gamer.
Rob's grew his hair quite long.
Yeah, that is quite formidable. Nice how he tucks that in.
speaking to those two after the game, post game.
Trying to give him a little something to talk about. Mercer getting that single after the call overturned. See if McCutcheon can put a ride into this one. 2-2. There's a base hit into right, and maybe more. Mercer around second, and he'll get into third on the single by McCutcheon, and men at the corners with one out. It's a good piece of hitting.
Yep, went with it. Got a good pitch to hit as far as it was up, about belt high. It was right on the outside part of the plate. Launched it out toward the gap. Good job by Zobrist keeping it just a single.
So Bucks on the pot for David Freese. 2 for 2 today. Gets that curve in for a strike. Hitting at 294. Lead runner is Mercer. McCutcheon trails him. 2 strikes. The 0-2. Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Chased upstairs, put a little extra on that one. Reaching back a little. Better velocity fastballs he's throwing this afternoon. Super Bowl definitely shows he was late with that swing.
Now Starling Marte. Pirates with 7 hits today, yet to get on the scoreboard.
What a home run.
Wouldn't mind that.
That would make it a better game, wouldn't it?
Breathe some life. You know, it always seems like things are not going well when the team
Darkest
doesn't
before
hit.
the dawn.
Yeah. That too. 0-1-0. Ball and a strike. Look, hey, the Cubs coming in, they've got the best offense and the best pitching in baseball right now. Number 1. They're rolling, but you know this Pirates offense has been quite formidable coming into this series too.
As well.
So you know they're capable. Let's just see it.
Let's see one sailing into the left field bleachers. Went hard right toward that scoreboard.
There's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bryant seems to be playing a little shallow in left field for Marte. A lot of room behind him between himself and the left field wall.
Sometimes opposite field you might see that, but
not the Marte's pull side. And that thing too, he got a lot of speed over at first base. Anything that does get over his head should easily score McCutcheon.
So it'd make you think, okay, well, they're going to just pitch him away then, but they haven't been. Two on, 2 out. 2-2 to Marte. Now full.
McCutcheon will get a little head start from first base in the full count, 2 outs.
Well, the Pirates have not stolen a base today, but you wouldn't in this situation.
Doesn't look like Rizzo's even going to hang around the base. McCutchen will get a huge jump.
The Pirates
might be able to score on a long single.
Yeah. Got to get something going. The Pirates have scored just 3 runs in the series. 3-2. Try it again. Ryan Vogelsong. We will see a new pitcher next inning as Rogers pinch hit for Hughes to start the inning. Marshall with an infield single on an overturned challenge. McCutchen with a base hit. He's at first. On the move. Another 3-2. And Lester comes back to strike out a pair. And the Pirates strand 2 again. On this week's Inside Pirates Baseball, Starling Marte cranks up the radar guns. We relive our favorite outtakes from Pirates spring training and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, Friday after postgame, right here on Root Sports. 4-0 Chicago on the UPMC scoreboard. Pirates have a hill to climb. Jason Rogers stays in the ball game over at first base. Sean Rodriguez instead will be the third baseman and move over across the diamonds, as we'll see a third Pirates pitcher of the afternoon.
You see Ryan's numbers. He's done a very good job pitching out of the bullpen. Had 1 start. Stepped in for Francisco.
Dexter Fowler leading off an inning for the 3rd time today. On base twice. So Hughes 2/3 of an inning, gave up the infield single and a walk. And out on the bases. Nicasio went 4 1/3, gave up 4 runs, only 1 earned. But threw more than 100 pitches in that 4 1/3 innings. 2-0. Out to Marte. And one gone in the 6th. Hey, seniors, you can save big on Bucko baseball tickets at PNC Park, up to $10, in fact, off Sunday through Friday games. And this deal available for any senior over the age of 55 with a valid ID. So buy your tickets at PNC Park ticket office today. So you're a senior? Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think of you as a senior.
I am a senior.
Now, come on. They showed Steve.
Steve has been a senior for a while now.
Well, he gets to save on tickets.
Yeah.
Now, what constitutes being a senior? I guess at 55 that's the limit?
Yeah, I think
that's it.
55. I can remember when the.
Is Brownie a senior?
Brownie, yes, is a senior.
Oh, that cannot be. Now, Phil Coyne is 98. He's a senior.
He's a senior, yes.
Great usher here. He's been here forever. Just celebrated his 98th birthday, too, and always spreading joy at the ballpark. That's great to see, Phil.
I first discovered I was a senior a couple years ago, sitting at an IHOP.
And Listella strikes out swinging. What did they say? Here you go, sir.
I realized I could save some money. All I had to do was tell them my age.
So they had a discount. So,
yes.
So there are advantages.
There are advantages, yes.
How do I get to become a senior?
Don't fall over the edge.
I like saving money. That's the weekday day game's a nice thing too. Come on out. If you're one that spends, get up a little early and go to bed a little earlier, this is a great time for it.
You're saying that
Very
seniors
savvy
like
senior
myself can't stay up late?
No, I'm not saying you. I've seen you stay up to midnight doing the game.
No.
I guess Joe Madden is a senior.
He's a senior. It's another sign of a senior is
white hair,
little silver hair.
Yeah,
silver. It's a more polite way to say it.
Oh, okay. He's got cool sunglasses though. I guess seniors can be cool. Ryan Vogelsong gonna have himself a 1-2-3 inning.
He's a senior pitcher.
The 6th inning, talking about Ben Zobrist, the utility man for the Chicago Cubs in his first season with the Cubs, coming over from the Royals. Now, he spent only 59 games in a Royals uniform, but the name Royal literally lives in his family forever. As we get a look at his wife Juliana and the other 2 kids, a baby was born Their third child born just 5 days after he won his first World Series with the Royals, so the baby's name is Blaze Royal Zobrist. Now, if the Cubs win it this year, they might have to get a little creative, Joe and Bob, if they're going to have a fourth kid and come up with some kind of name tying it to the Chicago Cubs. However, it's a pretty cool story. Royal commemorating the first World Championship for Zobrist.
Well, maybe like Clark?
Doesn't matter. Pirates are winning anyway.
He's been on some winners lately. 4-year deal with the Cubs. They spent some money in the offseason to bring him in. Jason Hayward, who's banged up right now, we haven't seen him in the series. John Rodriguez with a hit today, up to 350. The Pirates have collected 7 hits. They have had 5 at bats with a runner at third. 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. So they've actually had some chances today against Lester, whereas yesterday Arrieta was just so dominant that.
No, I agree. There are some opportunities that it could easily be a tie ball game. Maybe you can even make a argument for a couple hits here or there. You could have the lead, but ifs and buts. We don't have Merry Christmas.
Lester at 91 pitches here with 1 out in the 6th. Trying to give these kids something to hoot and holler about. Down the right field line. Zobrist in fair ground. Our Point Park, I guess, Instagram at this point, and they're saying that he's so old that his first baseball card was in black and white. Back with the Dodgers. Yeah, 39 years old. That's so old now. So I guess he's a senior player, right?
Yep.
And that's a way to stay cool on a sunny day. He would qualify for the ticket discount, I think. Although these days 55 is the new 45, so. And 70 is the new 65 after they changed the speed limits. So who knows? It's hard to keep track of everything.
I always lose track of the speed limits. No, not really. No, I didn't say that.
Kids drive safely. That's a cool vantage point. There's some good seats up there. I like that. Right up the line.
No place that's a bad place to watch the game here.
That's the best thing about this park. They didn't try to, cram in 50,000 seats here. Every seat's a good seat. It's a baseball park. Even standing, get a good look. Always trying to have fun. Hatch had a better hand on it than those gents. He deflected it for him. That was nice. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had a chance at it.
He slowed it down for him. They still didn't get it.
Bring your glove. Anybody bring their glove down there? If I sat down there, I'd bring my glove. He did. Andrew McCutchen brings his glove every game. Yeah, see, he agrees. There's a base hit for Harrison. 2 for 3 afternoon. And now 8 hits for the Buccos.
Yeah, even down 4 runs, I would think that Harrison maybe would try and take advantage here. Get himself in the scoring position with 2 outs. Marte ran the other day where they're down 6. So I would say that Harrison will be able to take a shot at it, just down 4.
Against Lester.
Big leg kick. That's the thing too, when he has the big leg kick, he's not going to come over. And that's what really gives you an advantage with trying to steal the base.
And it will elicit a trip out from Chris Bosio.
Well, his last one worked with the bases loaded. Got out of it.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Pirates had their best chance so far in the 4th inning. And a couple of strikeouts from Lester and a pop out. And then 1st and 3rd with 1 out in the 5th. And then Lester came through with a couple more strikeouts. Adam Warren, who has not allowed an earned run this year, getting up. There he goes. And Polanco swinging. That spoils it, so Harrison back.
We were talking about what you can do to prevent steals when you don't throw over. One of the things I forgot to add is you hammer the strike zone. Because you throw strike 1, you throw strike 2. If the runner hasn't gone, well, now the hitter can't take pitches for him anymore.
Well, Polanco did take there, but then Harrison started and stopped. Didn't like the jump he got. But it ended up being a ball, so Polanco in a favorable count. Yeah, you're not going to take a 2-strike pitch for a hitter, or for a runner, I mean. Not a strike, at least. 3-1 now. Jason Rogers is on deck. He stayed in the game after pinch hitting last inning.
Probably Lester's last shot, maybe, or
Warren seems to be close to ready.
102 pitches.
And there's another walk from Gregory Polanco, his 19th already. Well, the Pirates' last 3 innings have had multiple base runners aboard. And Joe Madden's going to make his way out to the mound in the 2nd visit. That means John Lester done after 5 2/3. If you told me they get him out of the game at 5 2/3, you'd think good things are happening. And
so far, he's still throwing a shutout, but missed opportunities for the Pirates so far.
See if they can cash in here with 2 outs against the Cubs bullpen. right, 5 2/3 innings, his shortest start of the season, and 8 hits. Okay, we'll take it, but it doesn't tell the whole story of John.
No, it doesn't tell the story. We had some opportunities, especially with the bases loaded, where we got a little anxious, and there was a situation right there, even at the end with 2 strikes, where Polanco got a couple of pitches in the middle part of the plate, fell high, and no contact. Let him off the hook. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, the Pirates with a man at third base. They had 5 at bats so far, 4 strikeouts, 0 for 5. So cheers to another opportunity here with 2 men on for Adam Warren.
Warren, very tough to hit so far this year in 8 games. He's only given up 2 base hits. Has a very hard slider.
John Jaso's pinch hitting for Jason Rogers once they brought the righty in.
He's given up 1 hit to a lefty and 1 hit to a righty so far this year.
Jaso has 1 hit as a pinch hitter and 2 at bats.
Every time you get somebody in scoring position now, you feel like, hey, got to get him in.
It's probably why they haven't fared so well in those situations, right? The hitter may put some pressure on himself.
Yeah, you're right. But now it's getting later in the ball game, and it's getting to be essential. And because you've failed to do that, still have that 0 up there. Just mentally, it's just that you get that feeling that you're going to run out of these opportunities because you're not cashing any in.
Well, what were you saying in the open? You know, play like kids.
Yeah.
Just kind of go out there and just
have some fun.
Do what you're doing.
Don't put pressure on yourself.
You know, the Pirates' offense has shown this season that even against this very good Cubs pitching, that they can handle it. They haven't shown it in the series, though. They've shown it before the series. So you would think it's a matter of time for them to be able to break through. Could it be here? I mean, 1 swing of the bat. It's a 1-run ball game. And Jaso with a couple of big home runs over the weekend against the Reds. 2-2. And Rizzo takes care of it. Warren strands both runners, and the Pirates still blanked through 6.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
4-0 Cubs. As we go to the 7th inning, Pirates have had some opportunities today. John Lester done after 5 2/3 scoreless. John Jaso stays in the game to play at first. Anthony Rizzo has doubled today. And he hits this one deep to right. And Polanco is going to run out of room.
Just barely got over the top of the fence. First row.
9th home run of the year for Anthony Rizzo. The Cubs have hit a pair today, and they're up 5-0.
Looked like for a moment that Polanco was going to have that one lined up. Got back to the wall, but
no, the ball got stuck in the seat.
ground rule double.
Right. Oh, but it's over the wall, not in the wall. Rats. Technicality.
Went out and got a pitch that was elevated, but on the outside corner.
If that happened in Wrigley, when the Pirates hit it, they'd just throw it back, but they couldn't. One way to thwart the Cubs fans. And it's gone. That's why you bring him in. He did bring his mitt. Get over there. Make the catch.
It's going in the ball bag.
He got his wish. Zobrist hit the other home run. And now Javi Baez. He's got 3 hits today. Well, they got the bat at least, and they got him on the lineout too. And the Pirates are needing to cover some more innings today.
Oh, look at that one. That one just split nicely. That would have made a nice piece of firewood in the old days.
Nope, that's going to be.
Even when they come in 2 pieces, do they still get auctioned? You get both halves?
I think so. Usually see the authenticator get in on that.
Well, nice. Well, not a nice quick inning, but a quick inning. Did give up the solo home run.
Need some length here today from Ryan Vogelsong. I was just about to mention that the Pirates relievers have pitched the 4th most innings of relievers this year. So
that's definitely something you want to see end as quickly as possible. It can't continue like that.
Yeah, how about some take me out to the ball game here on a Wednesday afternoon? Stretch 5-0. The Cubs have the lead. A couple of home runs for Chicago today. And a look at our Nissan road ahead. The Pirates use tomorrow to travel to St. Louis, where they'll begin a 9-game road trip against the division. And the lefty Liriano gets the first one against Martinez, who's pitched well. Adam Wainwright has not so far. Jeff Locke has in his last 2. Garrett Cole looks to get back on the rails against Michael Wacha in the finale. Saturday's a day game too, so when you tune in, make sure you're got us in early on your Saturday. Well, these games against the division, as we know, always important. And the Pirates have their work cut out for them in this one, trailing by 5 here in the 7th. They've gone 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position in the series. And that one hit was Cervelli's single in the 4th inning today that loaded the bases with nobody out, so didn't play to run. But
it's always an important stat, isn't it? Got to get the hits when they count.
The Pirates have done a really nice job. Remember, we talked about that in the first couple of weeks of the year. The Pirates had not done as well at converting those opportunities. Then they did a fantastic job for 3 weeks, but this series has been awfully tough. And give some credit to Cubs pitching. I mean, right now they're the best. They're best in baseball right now in terms of limiting runs. Sure, with a hit today. 1 for 4. Hope never ceases with children, right?
Let the kids come out here on one of these day games like that. They're going to have a good time. They're going to keep on rooting for the Bucks. Hoping for the cotton candy guy to come by one more time.
Say, you know, if you ask any one of them, hey, would you rather see Andrew McCutchen hit a home run right now or have some free cotton candy? I'd say 80% to 20%, right?
Some of them would have to think about that.
Yeah, I'll take the cotton candy. Now, me as an 8-year-old, you as an 8-year-old, probably would have wanted to see Andrew McCutchen hit one high off the wall and still get that cotton candy. How about that? There's a double. And like that.
I've got them all up and waving the flags and yelling. They did want to see that, and that will be talked about tomorrow at school. Not when Kutch hit the long ball off the right field fence.
Almost had their candy and ate it too. So a 1-out double. And Matt Joyce is going to pinch hit for Vogelsong here. Now 2 outs, nobody on. Maybe Vogelsong stays in the game, right? Give you some more length. If not, here's a chance.
Just Chris Stewart left.
3 out of the 4 bench players have been used. Joyce outstanding as a pinch hitter. A couple of pinch hit home runs, which is tied for baseball's lead. Leads in runs batted in as a pinch hitter, and a 1 shy of the baseball lead in pinch hits. He's in the game almost every day.
Yeah, I don't think he misses many.
He's missed 1.
But I mean, that's the life of a pinch hitter in the National League. It's very rare when you're not going to get an opportunity to get in there, and especially with the almost non-existence of the complete game anymore.
Yeah, Matt Joyce has played in as many games as McCutchen has.
We were talking earlier this year, what's become rarer, a 3 home run game for somebody or a complete game for a pitcher? When Kutch hit the 3 home run game?
Probably the complete game now. You're right. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's weird. Joyce could put a charge into this one. Two and two.
Good changeup.
Warren off to a good start. He has not allowed an earned run this year.
Oh, good arm speed on that pitch. This is the grip, takes its speed off. Doesn't slow the arm down at all.
Matt Joyce hits one deep to right.
They do it again. Yes, he did.
Third pinch hit home run of the year for Matt Joyce. Wow! He's done it again. And the Buccos on the board. It's 5-2.
Well, Warren threw that real good changeup, and I'm sure in his mind he goes, okay, now that's going to get him off my fastball. He was just way out in front. He's going to have to make some adjustments, and now I'm going to go back to the fastball. And he was fooled. Joyce did not get off the heater and pulled it out of the ballpark. That little guessing game goes back and forth. That hitter and the pitcher.
And finally, Pirates break through.
Three pinch hit home runs already. Wow. That's just some awesome stuff right there.
A month into the season. That leads all of baseball. 3 pinch hit homers. That swing. Really worked hard in the Dominican Republic. Played winter ball in the offseason. Get that swing back. Well, if Joyce hits another one, you got to go back 15 years. The last time the Pirates have had a pinch hitter had 4 pinch hit home runs this season. In a whole season. That was Craig Wilson that year. So first year of this ballpark. That's how long it's been. That's how unusual it is.
That's an awfully pretty view, isn't it? When the Pirate hits one of them long home runs.
Yeah, that was no cheapie either.
I love to watch those balls get tracked like that, like it's a golf ball.
Comparing some notes there. Both men have hit homers in the series. Marte putting together a good at-bat here. Well, maybe this is the spark. Down 3 now in the 7th. Something to feel good about. First time the Pirates had had a hit that drove in a run with a man in scoring position the entire series. And a big hit at that. Marte underneath it. Twisting foul. And Zobrist runs out of room. Pirates had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th, could not score. 1st and 3rd with 1 out in the 5th. And Lester struck out the final 2 men to end the inning.
That home run just gives you hope, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, 3 runs down, and you're in the bottom of the 7th. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's a doable number.
Comes back to strike out Marte on 8 pitches.
And to get a quick strike with that home run, I think also kind of picks everybody up a little.
They've had their chances today, so it's not like they have not had base runners on. It's not like they can't get things going. So you feel like, all right, now that they've got a couple. Matt Joyce with his 3rd pinch hit home run.
It's like you have a base to build on now instead of having to start with that 0 up on the board.
Okay, he can do it. I can do it. You know, basketball players talk about in warm-ups, they want to see a few go through.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. Okay. Oh, that's what. Okay.
Get a little confidence.
Oh, we can score runs. All right, fine. It's funny how the human mind works, but. And the Pirates get 2 on that big home run by Joyce. Now a 5-2 ball game. Here's who's bringing the lumber, brought to you by Yellowwood. How about Matt Joyce? Not 1. Not 2. Pinch hit home runs. One just getting out of here. He did it again here today. Don't see that very often in a season, let alone in a month of baseball. Pinch hit home runs, 4 overall already for Matt Joyce. Both teams with 10 hits. Pirates got to hold them here and see if they can rustle up something here in the final innings.
You know, when you're using the Yellowwood, you got to make sure you measure right. Did you notice how correctly Joyce had those first 2 home runs measured? Both of them hit on top of the wall.
Measure twice,
now
cut once.
That's accuracy right there. Tony Watson will try and keep it a 3-run ball game. Now the Pirates have gotten back in this thanks to the Joyce 2-run shot that kind of got everybody buzzing in the stands a little bit now. A little more noise.
It's David Ross to start things. 1 for 2 with a walk today. Last saw Watson in the Saturday game against the Reds. Pitched an inning, so getting some work in. Trying to get him consistent. A bumpy start for Watson.
Yeah, this is just not what we've been used to seeing Tony pitch like really since his very first season. Consistency has always been his calling card.
And ball 4. So David Ross, leadoff man aboard for the Cubs. And look at some tweets about Matt Joyce. I don't know if he's the greatest pinch hitter of all time yet.
Well, he's a god.
Well, Smitty thinks so. Marissa probably the most appropriate, but I'll tell you though, over time, I mean, if he continues anything close to this, it's an incredible month of the year. He's been very, very effective, and it's very difficult to come off the bench and hit a home run, let alone even just get a hit. Joyce has been able to do that. Ryan Kalish is pinch hitting. Getting the bunt down. 3-4 goes the sacrifice. Ross at second with one out.
Yeah, you look at Sean Rodriguez. He's been getting a lot of starts lately, but he's, you know, basically a utility guy. He's got 4 home runs. So there's some long balls coming off the bench.
Well, we talked about all the different components to the Cubs and the Pirates. They can move guys around different positions. Guys off the bench can come in. You don't miss too much of a beat. That's a key to winning ball clubs. And Dexter Fowler, who's got a base hit and a walk today. Fouled up third. So Warren went an inning and a third, gave up the 2 runs on that home run to Joyce. Song went 2 innings, gave up a home run to Rizzo, otherwise quickly worked through.
I think he wanted to catch up all himself.
Just missed inside. Watson has that velocity where we remember it, 94. Well, he got the ball anyway. All right. Walked Ross to lead off the inning. There's a strike. Maybe I should have put that in air quotes.
That's all right. It's good. Yeah, you framed it up nice.
We'll talk about pitch framing. As Watson gets the second out. You know, you can follow Pirates baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. There's Amy filling in for Terry today. Hi, Amy. Terry, we're thinking of you. Not here lately. Thinking of you and your family, but hopefully we'll see you right back here next homestand. Jorge Soler is pinch hitting for La Stella. I was going to say a moment ago about the pitch framing with Cervelli. Nice article. I mentioned Mark Simon twice today from ESPN, but he wrote an article the other day about the art of pitch framing, and Cervelli has been lauded in a lot of circles as the best at it. There's numbers to quantify basically how he presents strikes and how many pitches were called strikes that were, deemed by pitch effects out of the zone. Cervelli does the best job at baseball so far this year again at taking that pitch that is not all the way technically in the strike zone and getting it for a called strike. So
kind of the same way they like grade umpires, you know the percentage. Well, then that same percentage tells you that how the catcher's doing back there getting those balls.
You know, maybe not moving the mitt, right, or catching it at a bit of an angle to make it appear more in if it's away, for instance, right? Things like that.
Yeah, things like that. I thought.
Did I take them all from you?
No.
There's more examples. And I get the pinch hitter Soler. Sorry there, Walkie. Look at the bottom of the 8th. The Mets with their pitching continuing to leave off where they were last year. 5-2 here. Cubs have the lead. And a little bit of menacing clouds up ahead. Ryan Kalish getting a gander at those. He pinch hit and stayed in the game and right. And Ben Zobrist will get the smaller glove.
Setup man. Pedro Strop will come in and see if he can hold on to this 3-run lead. A little cloudy.
Sean Rodriguez 1 out of 3 today. Well, the Pirates have had multiple runners on in each of the last 4 innings. So can they continue that? They need some. Rodriguez singled back in the second. Strope's a tough customer, though. And right now, Jeff Nelson trying to get the benches to pipe down a little bit. Sean Rodriguez being talked to as the Cubs apparently had some things to say in that direction.
I don't think Sean and the Cubs get along very well.
What makes you think that?
Things like this.
This stuff's going on all the time. Rodriguez down on strikes. That goes back.
They got a little Sean and Strop kind of saying something to each other there.
Yeah, a little wild card game last year.
Sean was.
Well, Strop, we talked about this last night about Strop. Sometimes he'll quick pitch. And now, if there's not a man on base,
he doesn't have to come set, so he just blows right through his set position at times. So he turns the set into a windup.
However, if he does not give the batter an appropriate opportunity to be ready in the definition of the umpire, then it can be called a ball. So you almost never see that. I don't know if I've ever seen that actually, but that's in the rule book. So I wonder if that's what the Pirates are squawking about. They squawked about it last night. But either way, Strop's got 2 quick outs.
Well, I think that's 2 different things. I think what you're talking about is if you start your windup before the hitter is ready. Once he starts his delivery, he's already started his windup. It doesn't matter if sometimes he comes set or sometimes he blows through it. Once he starts, that's what the umpire is looking at. And the umpire immediately, when he starts up, is going to call time right away. I've never seen an umpire call a ball either, but I've seen an umpire 1,000 times call timeout and tell you wait till he's ready. That's kind of what they'll do. But as soon as Strop starts up, then that's part of his windup. Like right now, he's not winding. Now he's winding up right now. That's all part of his windup. It looks like a set position, but there's nobody on. It's his windup when there's nobody on. As soon as he starts up, that's why he doesn't have to stop.
Sometimes he'll just
click
and fire.
Now, right now, his windup. See?
Like that.
See how he didn't stop? That's his windup. So it doesn't matter.
Well, that is legal, right?
It does not matter if he stops or not, and it doesn't matter if the hitter is ready or not, as long as the hitter was ready when he first started.
But that's where I'm not saying he is violating the rule, but that you can see why the Pirates get frustrated because it is unorthodox. Where we're seeing more and more pitchers start to do things like this. No, you're right on. I'm just saying that's probably what is in their minds. That's the way you defeat it. Hard hit single for Polanco. I told you that he's been hitting the ball harder than anybody else in baseball to start the year, and that one hit pretty well too.
Right in the middle of the strike zone.
Statcast says that came off his bat at 108 miles an hour. That one is less. The inning ends. Pirates quick 2-out chance thwarted by Strop. Words between Sean Rodriguez and one of the Cubs coaches, Eric Hinsky. Started last half inning, and Rodriguez playing over there at third base, all the way across the Cubs first base dugout at the first base side. This goes on every day in baseball, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, especially been going on, you know, with Sean ever since the fight last year during the playoff game. This is you know, some guys, you know, there are certain players, coaches that'll hold a little grudge over the wintertime, and you can tell that there's still something going on here. We'll be playing the Cubs a lot this year, so we'll see how it progresses, how it evolves. It almost got into a little bit of a problem the other day.
In just a week and a half, we'll be right back in Chicago.
Yeah.
All's well that ends well.
Don't think this one's ended quite yet.
At the moment, at least. 5-2 as we start the ninth. Darkening skies here. Those two were chatty in the first game of the series on Monday.
There's always a you can tell that the teams are not liking each other when the managers are talking to each other.
And a base hit for Bryant. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Melanson having to work with the runner on now.
The Cubs with the leadoff man on in 7 of the 9 innings today.
Never a good sign, is it? Not much room for error when you're constantly pitching with runners on base. Mark's numbers 12 games, 10 1/3. He's had a couple of just 1/3 of an inning saves of late. Came in with 2 outs in the ninth. Pick up those 2 saves.
Rizzo has hit 5 doubles in this series. Homered his last time up. Pirates will have the top of the order in the bottom of the ninth. Mercer, McCutcheon, and then the pitcher spot.
Rizzo was really looking to have a big RBI year, isn't he?
He's picking up where he's left off. He's become one of baseball's best. All-star the last 2 years. Drove in 101 last year.
He'll better that, you would think. Well, at least that's the start he's got. He's got a lot of really strong hitters all around him. Guys are giving him protection behind him. Guys that are getting on base in front of him.
The Cubs leading baseball in runs scored per game. Another broken bat.
Tell you what, that was a nice pitch. That was a cutter that came right in and really cut the bat in half.
More like a saw.
Yeah.
There's one piece. I don't know if that's all of them.
Just cut or move inside. The sound it made too. Nobody at third base.
Following ping. Almost sounded like an aluminum bat.
Yeah.
Well, 2 men on with nobody out for Chicago. They're now out hitting the Pirates 12-11. And Zobrist did a 3-run home run right after an error in the third. Got underneath this one. Won't be deep enough. Harrison able to make the catch. Javi Baez with 3 hits today. When the Cubs pick up and head home, they'll face the Nationals for a 4-game series.
Be some interesting pitching in that ball game. Nationals with some strong starting pitching.
Yeah, the 2 best records in the National League coming into today. I don't think a lot of people were talking about the Nationals before the season, but Dusty Baker has got him playing well. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach there, has seemed to, like Ray Searage, kind of help some pitchers along, and their pitching is elevated. They've had the talent. But
they were kind of like going into the season last year like the Cubs are this year.
Right.
They were the team everybody was talking about, and it did not turn out for them. But you're right, this year kind of laying low and having a better year.
Yeah, different leadership. Rizzo starts and stops on the bunt. Bryant led off the inning with a single. Rizzo followed with one of his own. You keep it at 3, then it's hard to get 2 men on, but you get 2 men on, you bring the tying run into play. It starts getting much past that, then you're looking at long odds, trying to sneak one of these games out of the series.
I think the Cubs would love to get one more run out of this. Or 1 run out of this anyway.
Nice play by Harrison. He gets him out.
Excellent play. Got an out, and he got one at the runner that was going to be in scoring position.
And Bryant will score, give Baez the run batted in.
No possible way to turn this in 2 and stop the run, but at least get that lead guy off second base. Eliminate the possibility of a single, bringing another one home.
So now 6-2. This should get Melanson out of the inning. Blanco almost in the infield, retires it. A run on 2 hits, and the Pirates need 4 against Hector Rondon. A lot of the kids here today, and now the Renegades taking over. Trying to get hyped here in the ninth. 6-2 Cubs. Eric Hinsky and Sean Rodriguez had some words earlier. That gets you caught up to date. We saw the Joyce 2-run pinch hit home run. Now Hector Rondon. No walks from the Cubs closer.
It's great when you can have a closer go out there and not ever walk anybody. Yeah, you're so, I think, afraid that you're trying to protect that lead. You don't want to do them any favors. You love the fact that you have a reliever can come in and throw strikes.
And the Cubs got him in the Rule 5 draft, plucked him from Cleveland. He was a, prospect starter, had Tommy John surgery. They thought maybe they could sneak him through the draft. Had a mediocre year as a reliever. His first year with the Cubs. Then the next year ascended to the closer spot. He's been there ever since. So Mercer, McCutchen, and then more than likely a pinch hitter. Stewart, the last man on the Bucco bench. In the air toward Kalish.
Oh, wind swirling around out there right now.
Yeah, there might be some rain here in a bit. Hey, and after today's game, the Pirates head west for a weekend series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Join us from Busch Stadium for Game 1 Friday, starting at 7:30 with Pirates Pregame, presented by WB Mason, right here on Root Sports. See off to the right there, the storm's coming in from the west. Andrew McCutchen with hits his last 2 times up, including a double just ahead of the Matt Joyce pinch hit home run. Pirates trying to avoid their 4th consecutive defeat. Cubs trying to get out of here with 3 straight wins. Those guys all had the wild suits on their way in. Theme trip, dressing up. Everything going right for the Cubs here in the first 5 weeks of the season.
A lot of fun and games.
Yeah, the Pirates are just coming off a 6-game winning streak. Trying to get back in the right spot again.
Hard breaking pitch. Excellent spot.
Good look on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
And that really shows how the bat goes through before the ball gets there. That's the main reason guys miss those breaking balls. Not so much the break.
How can you tell the wind from the guy's hair or the flag? Or both?
The parrot's about to lift off. Getting some air under the wings.
Ahoy! Stewart pinch hitting for Melanson. Last hope for the Pirates here in the 9th. This little twist foul. Lots of kids here today. Got to learn about the weather.
Good to see some weather here. So.
One, two. Now even. Still a few hardy ones trying to hope for a comeback here in the ninth.
Still hope.
That's the beauty of the game of baseball. Should be it for Fowler. Kalish will cut him off instead. And Rondon able to retire the side in order in the ninth. So the Cubs end up earning the 3-game sweep of the Buccos. Bucks have dropped 4 straight after the Cubs roll through into town and outscore them 20-5 in the series.
Well, when it comes to the Cubs, certainly we have some work to do. Got to figure out their pitching. That's, I guess, one of the jobs, and then obviously we're going to have to figure out a way to get them out on the other side of the coin. It's just bad 3 games. They came out and they, I guess, made the early statement about who's the boss. We'll have to get them back on the road trip.
Well, the Cubs, we'll see them again here pretty soon. And until then, let's send you down to Robin Teak.
Joe and Bob, thanks very much. I'm sure the Pirates are looking forward to that return trip to Wrigley Field, Teak, after being outscored 20-5 here on their home turf.
Yeah, and you know, it was 3 losses, but it was 3 losses that were pretty much all one-sided. The Cubs dominated this series, both on the mound and at the plate, and yeah, this was a lopsided one. You got to figure out a way to change that around within what, week or 9 days or whatever it is till we get to Chicago. That's got to be whatever's wrong has to be fixed.
We'll look forward to the road trip coming up in the post-game show. Just like we promised earlier in this game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's Ben Zobrist. Zobrist only 3 hits in the series, but he made him count. He drove in 6 runs and scored 3 runs, and his 3-run homer here following the Andrew McCutchen error was the big blow of the game as the Cubs go up there 3-0 and go on to win by the final score of 6-2 to complete the 3-game sweep, as the Pirates now drop to 2-4 in this stretch of 15 games against NL Central opponents. Coming up on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, we'll have highlights of this game, postgame reaction here from manager Clint Hurdle and others. Teak's analysis, we have highlights from around the league, and to look forward to the road trip coming up, all against NL Central opponents. That and more when Teak and I return after this.